Sanstha is a premier institution of education, known and honored far and wide, not only at the national level, but at the global level too. The institution itself is regarded as a noble mission, a noble cause, so honestly and so enduringly pursued by its founder, Father Karmavir Bhaurao Patil, the educator of the educators, and his legendary wife, Sir Lakshmibai Bhaurao Patil, with her exemplary sacrifices made to turn the mission into a reality. Please have a big round of applause. I also request all the dignitaries to offer the floral tribute to the idol of Sir Lakshmibai Bhaurao Patil. She stood with her husband firmly and supported his noble deeds. Please have a big round of applause. I request all the dignitaries to occupy the distinguished chair. Moving ahead, I request Ms. A. M. Dangi Madam, coordinator of this program, to deliver a welcome address and introduce the guests to us. Ms. A. M. Dangi Madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning and warm welcome to the International Conference on Recent Advances in Energy Harvesting and Application, or RIA 2025. It is both an honor and privilege to stand before you today on behalf of Department Electronic Science, Physics and Mathematics at Kaya Shikshan Sansthan, Anna Saibawde College, Manchar, Pune. Honorable Dayas, distinguished keynote speaker, Honorable Dr. B.B. Kare sir, former scientist G and Director General of the Center for Material for Electronics Technology, that is CMET, Director of Material Science at the MIT World Peace University in Pune. Esteemed guest Honorable Dr. T. Gopinath Sir, Faculty Member at MIT World Peace University in Pune. Honorable Dr. S.D. Sarkari Sir, Professor SPPU Pune, and the President and the Convener of today's conference, Honorable Principal Dr. N.S. Gaikwad, Anna Saibawde College, Manchar, Pune. Our dedicating organizing secretary, Dr. S.T. Mahankar, Head Department of Physics, and the co-convener of the Dr. S.T. Shinde. He is also co-convener of the national conference. I would also like to recognize distinguished speakers, which are online, offline, and today's conference event, and esteemed heads of the department, respected faculty members, and dear participants who have joined online, offline, present here today. It is the immense pleasure and profound gratitude, and I stand before you today to inaugurate this prestigious international conference and introduce all the dignitaries on the dais. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a hearty welcome each one of you at the significant conference. Your presence here not only enriches this gathering but also highlighting our collective commitment to advancing knowledge and fostering collaboration in the field of science and technology. Once again, I welcome you all to this conference and I wish you productive and enlightening conference. This conference embodies the intersection of theory and practice, where knowledge is shared and ideas are sparked. Over the next session, we will delve into cutting-edge research, discuss the latest technology, and share our insights on applied methodologies. We are privileged to have a diverse group of expert innovators and thought leaders united by a common goal to explore the future of energy harvesting and its application. Energy harvesting is no longer just a concept, it is a vital component of our pursuit for sustainable energy solutions. The world we live in today faces unprecedented challenges, climate change, energy scarcity, and an ever-growing demand for power. As a researcher, educator, and practitioner, it is our collective responsibility to rise to these challenges and find innovative solutions. I encourage all of you to take full advantage of this platform, engage in discussion, ask questions, and share your own experience. Because like each one of you brings unique perspective and expertise that enriches our collective understanding. This conference program is packaged with keynote speeches, panel discussion, and poster presentation showcasing groundbreaking research. Let's take this opportunity to network, collaborate, and ignite ideas that can lead to the real world applications. Before we proceed further with today's proceeding program, it is my great honor to introduce a truly remarkable individual who has dedicated his career to the advancement of material science and technology, Honorable Dr. B.V. Kalekar. Recently, I want to mention one more thing is that recently, sir, awarded one CSI Professor S.K. Bhattacharya Evening Scientist Award. He is distinguished former scientist, director of CIMEC, and a prestigious institution committed to research and innovation in the field of electronic materials. His leadership at CIMEC has not only elevated the organization but has made significant contribution to the development of advanced materials essential for energy application. Currently, Kale sir as the Director of Material Science at the MIT World Peace University in Pune, where he continues to inspire future generation of scientists and engineers. His extensive knowledge and expertise span a variety of disciplines, including the semiconductor material, nanotechnology, and energy-efficient electronic devices. Sir has published numerous research papers in renowned international journals, and his work has gained recognition not only within India but across the globe. His dedication to bridging the gap between research and practical application has significantly impacted industries relying on cutting-edge material and energy technologies. We are privileged to Dr. Kalekar with us today, and we eagerly anticipate the insight he will share during his keynote address. His experience and visionary outlook on energy harvesting and its application promises to be highlight of our conference. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our next esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Gopinath T. Sir. Regarding his innovative teaching methods, he is a faculty member of MIT World Peace University, Pune, where he is well regarded for his innovative member at MIT World Peace University in Pune, where he is young associate Maharashtra Academy of Sciences. He is the forefront of research and academic excellence in this field. His contribution to the academic community extends beyond the classroom, having engaged in significant research initiatives that explore new frontiers in his area of expertise. Sir, having a passion for knowledge and commitment to fostering collaboration among scholars make him an invaluable asset to our conference today. We are truly privileged to have him with us, and I am confident to that his insight will enhance our discussion and inspire us all. It is a great pleasure that I introduce today's another guest is or speaker of our today's conference is Honorable Dr. S.D. Sarkare sir, a distinguished faculty member from the Department of Physics, and sir has made significant contribution to the field, particularly in the realm of condensed matter physics and material science. Sir has authored numerous research papers and is known for his innovative approach to complex scientific problems. His dedication to education and research has inspired many students, fostering a new generation of physicists eager to push the boundaries of knowledge. Today, we look forward the valuable insight. Sir will share the ideas and delve into the exciting development in our field. Thank you once again for gracing us with your presence. We look forward to inspiring discussion, fruitful networking, and successful conference together. And today we are particularly honored to have with us esteemed principal. Our institution is Dr. N.S. Gaikwad, the convener of today's conference and visionary leader at Anasar Raute College, Mohapur. He is not only a prominent figure in academia, but also a source of inspiration for students and faculty alike. His unwavering commitment to excellence and innovation has set a benchmark for educational leadership. Under the Honorable Principal's guidance, we have witnessed of inquiry and creativity also. His ability to inspire those around him is a testament to his exponential leadership and dedication to the advancement of knowledge within our community. As we conclude the introduction, I would like to express my anticipation for the inspiring discussion and exchanges that lie ahead. Each of you bring a unique perspective and valuable insights, and I encourage you to engage fully with one another for our time together. Let us embrace the opportunity to learn, collaborate, and innovative working together toward our shared goal. Thank you once again for your presence, and I look forward to fruitful, enriching conference experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. Before we plunge into the agenda, let us have a customary presentation of floral bouquet and welcoming the guest. I request Principal Honorable Dr. N.S. Gaikwad, sir, to welcome today's keynote speaker, Dr. B.B. Kaya, sir, with a floral bouquet. Now I request our principal to welcome Dr. Gopinath T. Sir, our today's guest of honor. I again welcome our honorable principal to welcome Dr. Satari Sir from SUTU Pune. I request Dr. Mahata Madam to welcome honorable principal Dr. M.S. Gaikwad Sir on behalf of the entire organizing committee of this entire international conference. Thank you all. I am very much honored today to share a special felicitation to Dr. B.B. Kaya sir. Recently, the Catalysis Society of India proudly presented the Professor S.K. Bhattacharya Eminent Scientist Award to Dr. Bharat B. Kaya sir for his exceptional contributions to catalysis, particularly in the development of novel photocatalyst and electrocatalyst. With over 3 decades of pioneering research, Dr. Kaya has made significant advancements in the hydrogen production, carbon dioxide conversion, and water purification. So on behalf of Anna Sahib Avte College, I request Honorable Principal Dr. N.S. Gaikwad sir to again felicitate.
One of the most important thing is that he is past student of Raya Shikshan Sanstha from Borivali College.
Today, so I request Honorable Principal sir to honor him and felicitate him for his achievements. Thank you, sir.
And former principal of the college, Canada, sir, was the first PhD student of college.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Former principal was the first PhD student of college.
Thank you very much, sir. I request today's keynote speaker, Honorable Dr. B.B. Kaya sir, to deliver his keynote speech and inaugurate the international conference. Dr. B.B. Kaya.
So, good morning to all. Thanks to Gaikwad sir and Shinde sir and other staff members. As well as Sartare sir. Today he is going to speak on photography, right? So to the one-day international conference which we arranged on efficient advances in recent advances in the energy harvesting and applications. You can see that energy is very important, right? So what we are trying nowadays, that how we can can get the very cheaper energy source. Fossil fuel is becoming costlier. So we are searching for other energy sources. So there are many energy sources people are trying, or researchers all over the world, they are trying. The first source is water. So whether we can generate something from the water. Or we have a lot of waste. Food waste is there, then e-waste is there, plastic waste is there. Whether we can generate some energy out of it. Without the energy, nobody can do better things, right? So every day we eat something, so we get energy, and then whole day we have activity. So more is the energy, you can more do the work. Your storage capacity, energy storage capacity also should be there. So there are two energy generation sources. One is solar cell. This is a cheaper source we can have. We can convert light energy to electrical energy. Light is free of cost we are having. What we need a semiconductor material, which we have to develop. Like silicon is now, solar cell is a very stable technology. You can say sustainable technology. But silicon solar cell problem today is efficiency, guaranteed efficiency. Beyond 18%, we are not going. So what is really happening in this case? Suppose you want to have 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt energy source, then you can see that big panels of silicon we have to put accordingly, right? Still, we will not be able to reduce the size of the panel. It is occupying so much space for limited amount of energy. So somebody has to think on that, whether we can reduce the panel size, and when we will reduce the panel size, when we increase the efficiency of solar cells, then panel size can be decreased. So new area of research is now perovskite solar cells. These perovskite solar cells can go up to 36% efficiency theoretically. So at least we can reduce the panel size when we can have such kind of technology. Then quantum dot solar cells. You can say hot carrier quantum dot solar cells. This is a new technology is coming. The theoretical efficiency predicted for watt carrier solar cell is 66%. If you be able to have only 40%, that will be much better current technology. So research in energy generation is going in solar cell in this direction. Second source is fuel cell. Fuel cell can generate electricity in huge 1 kilowatt solar cell, 1 kilowatt fuel cell can generate, will have it small in size, but the technology is also established. What they need is hydrogen as input. Pure hydrogen is required. If you go in Japan, all Japan buses are going on, they run on the fuel cell. They don't use petrol, or they don't use batteries. They use fuel cell because Japan has a hydrogen technology. The cheaper hydrogen is available in Japan. So today if we want to really have the fuel cell like this, so we can run trucks on that. You can run trucks on that. We can run railways on this, on the fuel cell. Other alternative is whether we can use directly hydrogen as a fuel. So we can have hydrogen engine for the automobile. Hydrogen has the calorific value is 3 times more than the petrol. It is a 3 times more than petrol. Means एका लिटर मध्ये जर 3 लिटर पेट्रोल लागत तर 1 लिटर हायड्रोजन लागणार. So it's an energy rich source. So what is going on in fuel cell now? See, fuel cell technology problem is again the catalyst which you use in fuel cell is extremely costly. Platinum catalyst, palladium catalyst, they are using it. So we are trying to replace this catalyst with a very cheaper catalyst. This is new. This is the area of research we can think of. Hydrogen source. Hydrogen cost today is $6 per kg. Unless it is equivalent to petrol, 100 rupees, means $1, it will not be efficient today. So a lot of research on going on hydrogen generation at cheaper rate. What is the strategies are there now? Whether we can use wastewater. We have a lot of wastewater. If you see the nalas, all these nalas, they're wastewater. Whether we can generate hydrogen from that. Whether we can generate hydrogen from seawater. If you see the 3 sides of country is occupied by the sea, right? So a lot of the water, the seawater is available. Whether we can generate hydrogen with seawater. There are many complications for making seawater because a lot of chlorine will be available. 3% to 4% NaCl is already available in the seawater. How to get rid of NaCl? And how to decompose water? There are many processes like thermal process. In thermal process means water can evaporate the water, and that water vapor we can crack with catalyst at 700 degrees centigrade. You can have hydrogen and oxygen. You can have very cheaper catalyst. We can have platinum catalyst. You can have nickel catalyst. Now people are trying iron oxide. This is again one way of thinking your problem statement, that whether we can go through this catalyst, cheaper catalyst, whether we can reduce the temperature from 700 to 500 or 700 to 300 degrees centigrade. This I'm talking about water splitting, right? Like Sattare sir is using photocatalytic water splitting. Under natural sunlight at room temperature, whether we can produce hydrogen. So you can see huge amount of work has been done in this, but today's problem is we do not have very efficient catalysts. Their efficiency is low. It's not more than 18% contribute. So you can see that this is again the one problem statement to all of you, whether we can work in a photocatalytic. Electrocatalytic process, hydrogen is extremely costly. You will get very pure hydrogen with electrocatalytic process. All electrolyzers are there, they are available in the market, but this electrolyzer also costly. Their efficiency is very less. So the amount of hydrogen you get and the cost of hydrogen is almost $10 per kg by electrolytic process. Then another way is how we can combine photocatalytic and electrocatalytic effect together, so that we can reduce the cost. The energy which are giving electricity to the electrocatalytic process, whether we can give to the photocatalytic process or solar cell process. So that is the way of reducing the cost of hydrogen. Another way of producing hydrogen today, people are talking about the waste. पालापाचोळ आपल्याकडे खूप पालापाचोळ आहे, कागद आहे, सगळं आहे, बस सगळं भरलेलं आहे घरची. People don't bother about it. Whether we can use it to produce hydrogen. All these cellulose-based material, any waste, पालापाचोळ जो असतो, तो cellulose-based. There is a lot of cellulose is available. Cellulose is nothing but you have 13 hydrogen in that, along with carbon. Though we produce carbon dioxide and hydrogen, this carbon dioxide process can be diverted to have the another chemicals like acetic acid, methanol, ethanol. Is a route. Whatever CO2 we are produced, whether we can catalytically or biologically, biological processes are very, very important. At room temperature, CO2 can be converted into methanol, ethanol, or acetic acid. They are slow process. Biological processes are same. They are microorganisms. This microorganism will produce, they will react with carbon dioxide and water and form very valuable organic materials. So one side we are getting hydrogen, other side is we are getting valuable chemical. Then and then this hydrogen will become cheaper. But this sustainability needs to work out. We are not done yet, right? So we are just producing hydrogen from the west or CNG from the west. CNG we can produce, but CNG again is not a green fuel. It's not a green fuel because again there we have carbon monoxide in that. So pure hydrogen means if any process which doesn't produce carbon or carbon-based material is a green technology. So our India is going towards green technology. This green technology using hydrogen using waste, e-waste. E-waste means if you have like plastics or any suppose electronic material. So you have electronic, like you have mobiles, you have laptops, desktops. This material doesn't decompose easily. This material doesn't decompose easily. So if you don't care of e-waste today, so you can see that after 2-3 years or 5 years, you will see the mountains of all these e-waste. Because everybody will use 2 mobiles. Sometimes one laptop is with us, one desktop is in the house. I have seen students, they are using 2 mobiles. One is for girlfriend, one is from other. So that will create problem after 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. And lot of there is good precious metals are available in this. If you e-waste recycle, 1 ton of e-waste recycling, you get 150 grams of gold, 500 and 5 kg of copper. Apart from tin is always available. Always there in this because tin is used as a soldering metal in all electronic components. So e-waste, whether this along with this precise metal, if you can produce hydrogen, because a lot of carbon and hydrogen already there in this. All plastic material is there in this. So 50% hydrogen, almost 70% hydrogen atoms already available in this plastic. whether we can utilize that. So this I'm talking energy generation materials, right? So we can generate this energy and generate this energy through this process. And what is today required? How to make cheaper hydrogen? Because hydrogen will be the future fuel. In I think within 4 5 years, you can see most of the vehicles or will be in hydrogen. If we'll able to produce hydrogen one equivalent the price of the fossil fuel like petrol and diesel. Another is energy storage. Because energy storage is also required. Today you are using mobile, you know, morning you just charge and whole day you are using it. That is energy storage. This energy storage is very costly today. Like battery is an energy storage device. These batteries are based on lithium ion battery. They are very costly now. We need a very efficient batteries which can store more amount of energy. Today, the materials are available. We can store 120 milligrams per hour. So it's very less amount of 100 milliampere is very less. 100 milliampere hours per gram. Can you take it to for 500 or 800 milliampere hour per gram? Definitely, size of the battery will come down. Weight of the battery, you see your mobile weight, 50% weight of the battery. If your vehicle, today we are running e-vehicles today. The weight is almost 30-35 kg of battery. When we used to use lithium lead acid battery, the weight was 100 kg. Now it has come to 1/3 because of lithium ion battery. If the efficiency has been increased with the materials, definitely this cost will come down. The weight levels will also come down. Today's problem of battery is we cannot run the vehicle beyond 200 kilometers in one charge. एका चार्ज मध्ये गाडी 200 किलोमीटर्सच जाते. Whether we can go up to 1000 kilometers, 800 kilometers, 900 kilometers. That kind of energy storage devices we would like to work so that we'll not have, then we don't need petrol in future. So see how energy is important, energy and energy storage. Another is supercapacitor. Supercapacitor is a high power supercapacitor. But in supercapacitor, what happens? The energy density is very, very less. Power density is very high. It has good power, but it can release immediately. Battery, we can charge slowly and then discharge also slow. Here, charge is faster and discharge is also faster. So people are thinking about whether hybridization can be done so that we can run very heavy vehicles like trucks and railways on these storage devices. So this is the game. Research game is going on now in energy storage. Green technology is coming, so all e-waste. You can see now there is a lot of sugar cane is available today. No, there is no demand for sugar. Everybody is having sugar problem. Maybe demand has also reduced a lot. So 50% sugar stock is not. We are not utilizing it. Right? So in between, Gadkari sir says that yes, whether we can use that for making hydrogen. So we started working on this. There are other crops. You can use wheat, west wheat, then jawar, bajra, all these things we can use for hydrogen generation because they have basically the cellular base. So there are a lot many problems in energy, and there are a lot many energy. There are statements, problem statements. Our researcher can take up and do some processes or develop some process. That is your PhD program also. That is your MSc program. Anything. So you choose such kind of problems so that that will be useful to the nation. Not like just you do something and forget it. No. So select a problem in such a way that you can, it will be helpful to the country as well. Otherwise, it will be useful for the society. So this is the today's the energy scenario. I wanted to um, discuss, and I think all faculties and students can think over that and direct their research in this towards this direction, so that we can have good technologies. So thank you very much. Thank you, sir, for calling me here. Thank you.
For your values and insights. I request all the dignitaries to occupy the distinguished chair. The forum is now open for question and answer.
Present scenario, more making mind. India Prime Minister and the Energy Minister also they also target to look at more. But we have different batteries as lithium batteries and we can also say that development but what you can print around. So as you consider Indian status. Sir, because I bring out the different research paper from European countries that are more concentrated on the electromobility. What is projected? Because we are just pushed towards the electromobility in India. Does it has a good picture, but at research rate at present, what is electromobility in India? In what states?
See, it's up to maturity. Yeah, recently, you might have seen that hydrogen railway hydrogen production already one of the companies has already started. Battery manufacturing is coming in the India, in Ahmedabad, as well in Assam. Capacity. The angle of research, there are battery technology is the well second. What you need? Materials. But lithium is not there. So now lithium recycling has come in the market. So we do lithium recycling. And then we'll switch over very soon to flame element. Battery technology will not change, only battery will change. Okay. So yeah, our research is will align with this. Because unless and now government is very government, we just for all the NITs, IITs that you align yourself with the industry. All research organizations. Any projects you want to submit, one partner should be the student. So whether it's hydrogen research, whether it is a battery research,
So because of this combination, now the very much. Battery technology and we established so battery technology will come in the country of India, but the efficiency of battery, again, question mark. And as I told you that 200 kilometers in one charge. We need to take 1,000 kilometers per charge. That research is going on. So that we need to do here also, or who are there in abroad also. Everybody has to appreciate cost. Today $6 per kg. It should come down to $1. Right? That is also we are searching the sources where they cheaper sources. Like I told you that seawater. There is a complex system. Seawater is a complex system. We have many of them. We have sodium. We have potassium in there. Right? How to take care of it? So somebody needs to do a lot of things in this. It is not mature technology, but they matured after 4 years, unless and you put some effort. We are just in the conceptual stage. Okay. But our target is to reduce the oxygen. Everything is happening in this direction because our goals are very fixed. Yes. 2030, we have already told. 2030, most of the vehicles will be on the hydrogen or
so all over the world, there is a nuclear waste problem that we are not facing with, like storage capacity or any other thing. So, is there any kind of, as you said, that recycling? So, can we recycle the nuclear waste problems? Like they also emit radio waves or anything.
Yeah, radioactive.
Yeah.
So, see, any radioactive waste, they will have the can capture them in a very where the oxygen molecules are more. Then its intensity of is coming down. Decay is coming down. So then one of them is glass. So what now is the current technology all uranium or any radioactive recycled in the form of glass. Since glass is amorphous nature, so that's decay of the uranium or any radioactive becoming dead. Right? This well set technology. Now there is no problem of any nuclear waste because there are very still strong, I can say strong norms for the nuclear waste because anybody is any water also, so small amount of uranium or radioactive it will give the cancer also. So government of any government, Indian government or European or any, there are strict norms for this nuclear waste. So nuclear waste recycling is already available. We are also doing in PIS. Nobody does nuclear anything about nuclear other than BIS because they have set technology. They have this whole ecosystem available. So I don't think it's any problem for it. Another, these people are talking about quantum matter. This quantum battery is nothing but the nuclear battery. Its life is 15 years. Its life is 15 years. But again, the problem was this, suppose this is available to the normal person, like you will use sometime and throw it. Yeah? So you will not follow that norms. So that kind of technology is because that is cheaper. But it will not be open to the public because public will not care of this. They will, like today, we are not taking care of waste. We are generating waste, but we we're not taking that risk. If something happens like this for nuclear waste, then everything is waste.
Whereas in the case of system, hybrid system, there's a multiple energy sources such as solar energy, thermal energy, and for that, the hydrogen energy can come and
Yeah, we are talking about now whether this uh, solar cell with hydrogen we can combine. Like suppose you go to the Ladakh, Leh Ladakh there. There is good sunlight. UV rays are more in there. So there was a project came to us and we we proposed like this, that we can have the solar system there. That solar system will be connected to the electrolyzer, water splitting, and produce hydrogen. Right? So that the electrolyzer gives lot of energy to produce hydrogen. We have to just we have to apply electricity outside and then this is again an electrochemical device. Right? So unless we give 15 volt to 20 volts, it doesn't work. So this 15 volt and 20 volt, because of that, hydrogen cost is more. So whether this energy whether we can supply to the solar line. That project was successful. We did it in later. And another very advantage is there. In Ladakh, temperature goes to -20, -60 degrees. Oxygen level is too low. So we produce hydrogen into the oxygen, just release the oxygen in the houses. And hydrogen can be used as a heater or something like that. Cooking. So these two purposes. So this is a good example of hybridization, integration. Integration of, I told you, supercapacitor and battery. Yeah. That will also work. Then the railways on in this hybrid system or trucks on the hybrid system. Okay, I will satisfy.
Any more questions?
Please.
Please. Okay, speak loudly.
Myself, Kinnari Patil from Answer Facility College. So my question is that few days ago I have read in magazine Indian scientists made a perovskite solar of 2D layer and 3D layer of the halide and increase the stability compared to reference solar cell. Then what is the exact difference between and how is it possible?
See, actually, in Parasquare cell, in Parasquare cell, you are using lead iodine. This lead iodine is unstable. Its stability is very, very less. So, people are trying to stabilize this lead iodine. Right? Now, whether we can replace it. Whether we can replace it. So, the new concept has come whether we can use this one. Right? Similar kind of structure, but the stability is much better as compared to third part. Whether we can have two-dimensional structure. In two-dimensional structure, what happens? You get more exposure to light. The efficiency is perfect. So what he has done, he has a thin film along with 2D materials and 3D. So the sunlight absorption is 3 dimensionally in the same material. So batteries a lot. What we need is the solar cell. As you absorb the sunlight, it should generate more holes and electron hole phase. It can generate more electron hole phase and also trapping of holes. Recombination also decrease. Right? So then and then, so this kind of structure it will take care of generating more pair of electron hole pair and adjust the recombination. So this is possible due to the structure because hopping of electron can be stopped due to the structures. So that kind of thing they have done in that and they have shown. But stability, I don't know how far it is. It's published paper. It's not like it's not technology. It's a published paper. I put it in the link. Right.
Any more questions?
Maybe during lunchtime you can ask. And he can also talk in Marathi.
Definitely. So thank you, sir, for acknowledging all the questions and enlightening us with your deep understanding of the subject. Thank you very much, sir. I am very much pleased to share that for this international conference, we have received more than 30 abstracts. So we have prepared an abstract book of the conference. So I request all the dignitaries on the dais to inaugurate and publish the abstract book of the conference. I request all the participants to have a big hand. It shows the enthusiasm from the participants. They have actually submitted their research work in form of abstracts, and that we are publishing in form of abstract books. Thank you very much, sir. And now it's time to hear from someone who inspires us all every time. I request Honorable Principal Dr. N.S. Gaikwad, sir, to deliver his presidential speech. Principal Dr. N.S. Gaikwad, sir.
All the good morning to all of you. All the dignitaries on the dais, including Director General of former Director General of Center for Materials, Electronic Materials, which is the Research Institute of Bharat Sarkar, and Kale sir was formal Director General of that institute. Presently, he is working on working in MIT World Peace University as the Director of Research and Development in Department of Material Science of MIT, Kothurud, Pune. Along with Dr. Kale, Dr. Gopinath is here as the one of the guest faculty, and he will also deliver a lecture on this conference. Dr. Gopinath T is the faculty member of MIT World Peace University, and he is also young associate of MASC, Maharashtra Academy of Sciences. Maharashtra Academy of Sciences is also very nice organization, which is led by Dr. Kale, who is president of that institute or Sanstha. Along with us, we are having one eminent professor, Professor Sartale sir, S.D. Sartale, who is professor in Department of Physics of Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune. We are also having some of the another guest speakers and dignitaries who are not on the dais, but they are also going to join the conference in near future. All the other members, Dr. Dange Madam, Dr. Kale, Dr. Valvi, so many doctors and my colleagues are there and dear friends. So this is immense pressure for me to have the one-day international conference on the topic of recent advances in energy harvesting and applications, RAHA 2025. As we have seen the future of the energy requirement, and we know that fossil fuels are declining day by day, they are consumed, and maybe within next 50 years, there will be no petroleum things will be there, no diesel, no petrol, no all these things, and we'll have to replace with some kind of good source of energy, and that source of energy, we call it as green energy. Green energy, that means there will be no pollution, and that will also be helping to the mankind, and therefore we are talking about some green energy, just like solar energy, electrical energy, or we talk about now hydrogen energy. Dr. Kale has rightly pointed out that what are the challenges in hydrogen energy, how they can be overcome, and these kind of energy sources, and what are the new resources available as the fuels, just like some bio products. We can utilize some garbage material of these leaves and all these things. So this compost can also be used as the source of energy, and that can also be harvested in near future. So today's world is facing and related with energy, with rising demand and depleting conventional resources, and this will be the challenge for mankind to overcome this challenge by either supporting with some transferable energy from one source to another, or to use some renewable and ambient energy which is available in the form of, say, solar rays. So we'll have to harvest some kind of wind energy we can also utilize. Maybe some people are also talking about ocean energy. Ocean waves are there, and these waves are carrying energy with them. So whether it is possible to transfer that energy and we can utilize that one. So these are some of the things related with how to harvest these energy. Second part is related with how we can store these kind of energy things. Storage is a bit harder as compared to the production of energy, because it needs batteries, and there is no alternative arrangement for these batteries. And that's why people are talking about, just Kale sir has rightly pointed out on the topic, that supercapacitors are also there. And these supercapacitors, people are working, they are doing research in supercapacitors only because of they are having very fast charging action, and we can use supercapacitors in near future with these normal traditional batteries. So there will also be a very good combination of these kind of things. And as we know that we are switched over towards the electrical vehicles now, but not only the vehicles is the vehicles require the energy. This is one part, but not only the vehicles are requiring energy. Energy required everywhere. And as and when we talk about that, we are switching towards developing nation. So energy requirement enhances drastically. That means a house of having say 2-3 lamps in his or her house can be replaced by multiple lamps, can have some mixer, grinder, can have a TV set, can have some kind of air conditioner. So every time, if you have some development in your own family or your own things, so that can also be the requirement of the energy by that single family, and definitely by the nation, and definitely by the world. So with this way, we'll have to look at this problem, and to organize such a type of conference on this energy materials, the theme or goal objective of this conference was to make awareness about this kind of situation with our undergraduate and postgraduate students. And there are a lot of opportunities in the research field in energy production as well as the energy storage. I also appeal you all students that not necessary a student from chemistry student or chemistry or maybe electronic science or maybe physics student is only doing this kind of research. Every student, maybe a student from arts faculty, commerce faculty, there is no bar related with your streaming. So any student, even who is not a student, can also work on these kind of problems, and will try to overcome all these problems in order to produce very good energy source, which will be free from all the pollution materials, and which will, we call it as green energy. So green energy production is one of the best target for the country, just like our own country. And second is the conversion of all these things. I know that Professor Kale was working with CMET, and he was working on this supercapacitor with some industry people. And the project is, I think, at the pilot level. And maybe we will have the production of supercapacitors in near future. So these kind of advancements are going in the energy field, and we have the opportunity for this today's conference that all the people are. Dr. Saratali is also doing research in energy. Dr. Mathe will join in the afternoon session. Dr. Sangpal is also from NIT Nagpur. He is also doing research in energy. So all these scientists, they are from energy storage as well as energy production, and they will guide us how this energy production as well as storage can be done properly for the good benefits of the mankind. One another thing is that we should also think in a way that not large projects will be important in energy production, but a small project, That means a household project of production of energy and utilizing that one, that can also be a very good thing for the nation, just like our nation. So this will also be benefited in a way that just like we are having the concept of work from home just now. So work from home is that we are not going to travel anywhere. We are having the food from our own family, and we are working for the nation or for the company, so that we are producing some kind of things, or we are rendering our services to some company, or maybe indirectly to this nation. So in that way, we can harvest the energy at our home, and we can use it for our home, so that we can fulfill our own requirements. So with these views, I welcome all the dignitaries on the dais, and I hope that this conference will be beneficial for all my student colleagues and my teachers. Thank you very much.
Meaningful contribution and your inspiring words. Thank you. Today, we also have with us Honorable Ms. Saili Kare Madam, Research Scientist, Research and Development Department, Tata Motors, Pune. I request ma'am to guide us on electric vehicles assistance approach. I request Honorable Principal Dr. N.S. Gaikwad sir to welcome Honorable Ms. Saili Kare Madam on behalf of the organizing committee and college. He is currently working as a research scientist in Research and Development Department, Tata Motors, Pune. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. Hi, everyone. And good afternoon. Good afternoon. Everybody's sleeping right now. Alright? Jonas? Once more loudly. Okay. So my name is Saili Kare, and I have been a mechanical graduate, mechanical student. And after that, I completed my PhD in batteries. Like all of y'all are interested in energy applications, and oh my god, what more people are working nano, crystalline research. Yes, yes, I was in the research program. But then later, eventually, I have landed up in Tata Motors. Okay. So, and it's the EV section. So, my role is basically I am a cell engineer, and I work in Tata Passenger Electric Mobility, wherein my job is to not only select the cells which are getting into Tata cars, which is Nano, Nexon, whatever it is, for Avinya. So, anybody heard about Avinya? Okay, Avinya is the next sports car sort of car which is coming up with Tata Motors, and its range is about 600 kilometers. So that is one of the top cars coming up in the next 2 years. It is being made in collaboration with JLR and Jaguar and Land Rover and Agratas. So Agratas is basically a cell company which is being established in UK, and they're collaborating with all of them to make this car. Okay. So yeah, so eventually I was talking about meeting a cell engineer that landed into this area, wherein what happens, we come from a research background where we think that we are making all sort of things. But in India, still there's a gap between the research centers and the industries. Okay. So when you go to industry now, everything about industry will rotate and revolve around money. What will we get? How much profit will we be making in terms of money when it comes to this technology? Okay, so we still need to bridge this gap. And I'm here to tell you a small example, or give you a small example through which you will understand that it's not only in terms of technology that you need to improve, but it is also in terms of techniques that we need to use to
wherein we can focus majorly on, how we can benefit the company. In case you all are, thinking of working in companies, we have research centers very good. You all are on the right path. Okay, but in case it's company, then everything about over there rotates upon me. So how is this? So yeah, we taking just 5 minutes. I know there are many much more better people than me sitting over here to, give you all insightful things. So see, first of all, as this conference is on energy applications, and we all are revolving and rotating about batteries, can you tell me what are the current issues EV is facing today? Okay, range and charging time. And okay, I definitely get the professors and scientists who are very intelligent. What about the students? Anybody from the student? 22, 14, no, 8, 1, 30. And I just anything else? Yes.
One issue that everyone doesn't talk about that making a lithium battery is more expensive and more resource taking than a petroleum. Petroleum car using it for about 10 years.
Oh, see, but in that case also, one or the other day we will overcome that issue. In terms of materials or getting raw materials, we'll overcome that issue. So this can be solved. Okay, so what we are facing currently is one, battery is still a black box for us. Okay, we are getting all the materials, anode, cathode, everything from China. What we do is the cells are gone. We are getting all the cells from China and we are just assembling it over here and making it a battery. Okay, and then we are using it. So it's still a black box for us. And we are not sure as to the problem that we are facing today. Is it because of the cell or is it because of internal architecture or what is it? Okay, so the major problems are one, thermal primarily. It's like we frequently get calls that, गाड़ी जल गई, passenger ऊपर customer सो रहा था, गाड़ी जल गई, and that customer gets real panic attacks. Like I have given so much money for this car, and why the hell is it, like this? Or what are the issues? And we should be able to address these issues. Another problem is range. We are not able to get a long range for it. Another issue with battery is that, the fast charging time, as your teachers mentioned, we are not able to, today the fast charging time is almost 30 minutes. Okay, and none of us, including the students, have time to wait for 30 minutes. Okay, so 10 to 80% now what we target is 15 minutes. So when we are targeting fast charge time like this, it will also create heating issues in terms of battery. So ultimately, it's again going to lead to problems such as thermal runaway. Okay, so that is one issue. Another issue with batteries is how do you we resell cars, right? Suppose I am using an EV and I want to resell it. How will the next customer understand that, so and so is the remaining life of the battery? It's like from us, we understand that we get old. Right? But how do we tell that in case of a battery? How do we identify its age? Identifying age is a very crucial issue for a battery. And unless and until you don't identify its age, we won't be able to identify a value in terms of money. That I want to sell my car for so and so much amount. Okay? And we don't know how the users drive it, right? Like I am a rash driver. But we're not a car. Okay? It depends on the driving pattern also, right? Driving pattern of the driver will also degrade the battery. So there are a number of issues. Now, how do you address it? Company does not have time to solve all these issues. By physically going there, we can't even do it because the technology is in China. So what we do is we develop a battery digital twin. Now, what is a digital twin? Anybody heard of this buzzword? It's a real buzzword in industries today. Anybody, even from the teachers, students? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Digital twin example, the most very easiest example is digital twin. The most easiest example which we use every day is. No, before I am told, anyone is interested to please answer for that question. If you want to go, if you want to go from here to Pune, so we don't know, we are not able to see more than the visibility more than 15, 20 meters. But how can you understand what is going to happen on the road? What is the traffic jam? So you are using that in Google now. So whatever there as a physical condition setup available between Pune, Manchester to Pune on the where is the bottleneck, where is the red region, where is the green region, how can we easily track which path we can take. So the physical system has been replicated in the mobile. So we are able to see this 121 kilometer distance in the 10-inch the diagonal of the mobile. So this is a very easiest way of seeing the digital twin. Twin is something both have similar characteristics, but might have a bit of differences.
Yeah, rightly said. So what we are doing in terms of digital twin is we are developing a digital replica of battery. That is अपन software use करो battery computer में develop करना and we will test it for n number of conditions like with different temperatures, with different routes the driver might take, with different driving patterns the driver might take. In this way, we will be able to understand one is if the battery is healthy or faulty. Okay. So what we are developing is a software wherein the software will predict if the vehicle is healthy or faulty. If it is faulty, fault कभी होना है. It's like the doctor telling you that beforehand 4 days that तू आजारी पड़ना है. Okay, it's something like that. So that you all get a prior time to escape. Like आगगाडी पड़ा नक्की लगा तो you get a prior warning. Yeah, 4 दिवसांपूर्वी things like this might happen so that you take your vehicle to the dealership and get it repaired. Another is you can address the health of the battery as in आता त्याची health काय आहे आणि how many years ahead it can work. With this, what the company does is it claims its warranty issues. What warranty we give right now is almost 8 years. But as I said, it again depends on the driving pattern. If I don't use it properly, its health is going to degrade and the battery is going to fail at an early stage. When the customer gets a chance to claim that he claimed 8 years, but my car is failing before that. So we have monitored all these issues based on which we can track and trace back how we can address these warranty issues, make it a buzzword, make it a brand, and then place it in front of that. Okay. So what a small message I want to give you in this context is, see, even I've been a researcher prior to getting into industry. So what I focused on is basically just materials, getting into materials, making materials and things out of it. And then I was like, I have made the batteries and I know everything about batteries and okay. But it doesn't happen. When I stepped into industry, there's a whole different world where even softwares and techniques, majorly MATLAB, Timola, and softwares like this are being used. So in case anybody of you want to step up and move towards the industry side, it's not just the technical part, but you also need to focus on these analyzing tools which will help you enhance your knowledge and enhance your skills. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. So I have questions or interaction.
Any questions for us? Do you understand something? Okay.
What tell me what is active
It's the need of the time to bring about revolution in terms of technology to combat climate change, emissions, and so on. So electric vehicles is one of such approach. Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us on the idea of electric vehicles and the recent innovations and the problems faced in the field of electric vehicles. Thank you so much, ma'am. To conclude this inaugural function, I request Dr. Mahaka Madam to propose a formal vote of thanks.
Distinguished guest, today's speaker, it's my privilege, honor, and pleasure to express the vote of thanks of this inaugural session of the international conference. For this conference, we are having with us Dr. Bharat Kade sir, who have inaugurated and guided us for the importance of the energy conservation and what are the challenges and what are the problems for storing of hydrogen and production. Thank you very much, sir. You have shed light and expresses details all the things to all of our students. Once upon, I thankful to you on the behalf of our college. We are having with us Dr. Gopinath sir. So welcome sir in the Riot Sphere, welcome. And you are having with us despite having your schedule and your time, you come over here for the session. And thank you once again. I am grateful on the behalf of Anna Saibavati College, Mansur. Being a student, I really appreciate and being honored by presence of Dr. Sartare sir, and he will guide us in the next session. On behalf of my committee, I say thank you to him and support of all these organizations. Dr. N.S. Gaikwad sir, I am thankful to him also. Dr. Saili madam, she has guided us and saying thankful to him and each and everyone. I mean, teachers, students, and all the students who have joined on site and off site. I say and express my attitude towards say thank you to each and everyone. And moving ahead, we will move on the next session. Thank you very much.
Let us dive into the topic at the hand on recent advances in energy harvesting and application. Let us start with the first session of the conference. I would like to invite Honorable Dr. Gopinath P. sir to guide us on the topic. Honorable Dr. Gopinath P. With you. I request the participants to please maintain silence.
I'm not an silent. So, being a teacher, I should first make my students be in tune with my talk. I was never been a researcher or a teacher with energy. However, I am here to discuss something about how to do. We have seen many issues raised by Dr. Saili Kale and represented with some of the wisdoms from Professor Bharat Kale and other people. Even Gaikwad sir has given many insights on the problems related with energy generation, storage, and distributions. My task here is to speak on about how to take up the problem statement and work on it so that we can so much delve into it and create an impactful solutions for the society and for the society. Okay, this is what I'm. By the way, my PhD topic was in metallurgy. So I was working on different stacking of metals and joining them using a diffusion mechanism, solid state diffusion with pressure and high temperature and pressure. This is what my work. And I had a wonderful experience with the forging company for 4 years. I was head of the department. But here I will be discussing on something which is how to do a collaborative research where we can do or create an impact in the society for creating a solution and taking up a problem. And how this is, I will end up how this can be a complete cycle, whatever has been discussed with by Kali sir, Sai, everyone. And actually, this project was taken by myself. We implemented this concept of co-creation to solve the societal problems. This was guided fully by Professor Joske Bundes. She is from Amsterdam, Netherlands. She is a founding member of the university in this related task. She's her age is 75. She was working in this topic for last 50 years plus, or 45 years plus. We have implemented this co-creation for our students in the last 3 years. We have trained around the first year around 6,000 students, second year for around 5,000, and this time around 4,800 students. So far, we have an experience of training this concept, taking this concept and giving to the students and implementing it in a university-wide for around more than 15 to 16,000 students. So whatever we have seen, some students have asked about hybrid energy, something about other issues with respect to the energy. See, the first and foremost thing about this co-creation is, before I am going to this, I will give some insight why we need co-creation. Right now, after creating energy, you are using all this energy for different purposes. So everyone is having computers, mobile phones, everything. We started using computer maybe around after 1940s, 1950s, like that. After this digital era started up, we are right now, all the researchers in the whole world are focused on quantum computers. Many people may not be aware of this fact, but all the teachers will be knowing what is quantum computers, fundamentals of it. Okay. This concept of quantum computers, every 6 months or 1 year later, Sundar Pichai comes to the paper. He will say that we have solved some problem in quantum computers. Okay. So this concept of quantum computers, what we are speaking in 2024, 2025, the foundation was laid back in 1920s, around like that. So it has taken the principle of quantum mechanics for this making the computer systems for us. And so we need, what is the point I want to deliver you here is that we need 100 years to feel that we can take a principle in physics, quantum mechanics to be applied in computer, in designing a computer system and make it possible. Now, sir also spoke about the quantum batteries. Right? So we need 100 years to think this quantum mechanics principle can be applied to create computers or even batteries. So why we need a time lag of 100 years? The reason is the people who created the quantum mechanics principle, who laid the foundation, like Neil Bohr and Planck, all these people, they are purely a physicist. They created an idea, the concept, fundamentals. They created the theory, and after that comes there is a gap. We don't have a good infrastructure on electronic sector. Okay, so if you go back in 1950s, if you
if you want to make a computer with 256 KB, 256 KB, you need you need a volume of space something like this room. If you want to have only a memory of 256 KB, you want to have an hardware setup which is of this much room size of this gallery size. Okay, but today I am carrying 256 GB in a pen drive. I'm putting it in my pocket and going. So if you want to create the same system 100 years back, you need like this at least of 50 to 60 rooms. Now I am carrying this. I've shrinked this whole concept of hardware setup into this, which I can hold it with my fingers. Right? So this all possible because there is a revolution in the technology, in the hardware setup, everything. This all happened around 1950s, 60s. But now we took this many years to realize that we need to take up this quantum mechanics principle and apply it this 100 years. Okay. So now we could, another reason is now there is a proper integration of the physicists, electronics engineers. If you see all these electronics, all are coming from China, Taiwan, the production setup. You see all the iPhone, the cover, designed in California. They write it designed in California. Design is California, but production is or manufactured in China, Taiwan. Now slowly from China it is shifted to Taiwan. So that the most emphasis of this topic is that there should be a proper collaboration among all these people, all these electronics engineers, computer and physicists. If at all this happened some 50, 60 years back, physicists collaborated with electronics engineer, and they collaborated with the computer scientists. We could have created this quantum computers 50 years back. So we are running 50 years back in our research capabilities. Recently, I met two people who were supposed to be here, Professor Magnus and other people. So at the middle of our talk, he expressed that India is 40 years backside what is happening in the world. That is a statement, double quoted. So whatever is happening in Europe right now, those things will be, we are going to face those, the actions and the consequences after 30, 40 years, maybe around 2050, 2060, like that, whatsoever the activities. And this co-creation is the one which is trying to connect all these people together and create social impact by solving some, taking up social problems and solving them. That is what the foundation is all about. And to say further one thing about co-creation is, I don't know how many people know this word co-creation. Anyone knows co-creation word? Co-creation. You can raise your hands if you know co-creation. No. In October 2024, the government of Tamil Nadu has allocated around 100 crore funding for co-creation projects. So slowly, it is a new word or a new buzzword in India, but this is quite a popular phrase in Europe and US continental countries. And many other state governments and even the national level, central level, people are coming up with this idea of co-creation projects. The fundamental is that, so I'm a mechanical engineer, very simple. Chemistry, physical chemistry, electronics, materials. Someone from computer science. So 3 or 4 different disciplinary people are interacting together and coming with some breakthrough for this problem solved. That is what co-creation foundation is all about. And I will give you certain examples how to think about co-creation. See, one man to learn physics, chemistry, computer science, electronics, and to learn and to design something, it will take 40 years of time. एक ही मनुष्य ये सब तीनों पढ़ के कुछ काम करना है, so they will take a time of at least 40 years. People will not be identifying their success at the initial. It takes a lot of time. So to cut short this time, this co-creation is giving that platform so that all the giants of the technology can work together. So this concept is something is not so new to us or to yourself. For example, if OnePlus is manufacturing, OnePlus, when the first OnePlus came for the manufacturing sector for mobile phones, what they did, they collaborated with Sony for lens, they collaborated with Dolby for speakers, they collaborated with Corning for glasses. So if you don't have anything by yourself, you should collaborate with all the big people. So you can imbibe their qualities and the manufacturing concept. So this is how at first they started, and slowly you can make yourself available with this technology. For example, another person is Magendra. Magendra was not with four wheelers manufacturing. What they did, Magendra collaborated with Nissan. Magendra and Nissan. Nissan from France. So the collaboration stood for around 5, 6, 8 years, and slowly they got all the understanding of the technology, R&D, everything. So they come up with by themselves for Mahindra. So same goes Hero Honda. Hero Honda started their Honda collaborated with Hero Cycle. They were just a cycle manufacturer. They never came with now in India the one of the largest. I'm being an automobile engineering by graduate, so I used to track up with all this updates. So if you see this Hero Cycle, this Munjal group, they were playing cycle manufacturer. Okay, Hero cycles. They were in competition with Avon, Hercules, the cycles. But Avon cycle, Hercules cycle, they didn't went to manufacture two wheelers. Is it clear? BSA is a cycle manufacturer. BSA didn't make any motorbikes. But you see this Hero Cycle, BSA, what are the other cycle companies? Avon, Hercules, there are other four. Only Hero came up, stood up with the competition. They felt in future, that time India was not fully developed. Even now we are not we are in the progress of development. So this company stood up and they collaborated with Honda Motors during the period of Rajiv Gandhi when all liberalization happened. So, so this collaboration, this is the foundation of this co-creation. So it is trying to give you a new wing to think in business as well as in research. Another one of the most profound example I generally give the people is this. You see all this, everyone is using Apple phone or Apple Mac. The initial days of Apple, the foundation, the fundamental of any computer is or desktop laptop is the chips. All the so these chips are made by Intel Corporation. You see everywhere in Apple or laptop, HP, desktop, everywhere. You will see Intel inside. Outside में भी any computer. बाहर में देखने में कोई भी HP Dell हो सकता है और Asus हो सकता है. But what is inside operating? So they kept the phrase like that. Intel inside. So that is so what matters in a laptop is what is inside. बाहर में बाकी क्या keyboard है, then there is a screen. Right, then the plastic covers or the steel covers or aluminium for its cover. So what majorly motivates of it? So that is what it is deciding the performance. Screen case the performance, it's not determine how the screen is looking, whether it is 13 inch or 12 inch, 11 inch. What is determining the fast in a computer or a laptop is what is inside of a laptop. That is the processor. So when it is i3, i5, i7, we will go for some processor which is in a bigger generation. Am I right? So this Intel inside, they were collaborating with all this Apple company for all the products. But in the last 3, 4 years, you might have seen Apple came with their own microchips. They are calling it as M1, M2. Right now, M3 is something. Okay. So now Apple being a partner collaborator with Intel earlier, for last 40 years or 45 years, now they came up with their own chipset. They're not depending on the Intel companies. Now the Intel shares their company profile, everything is dipping. Because Intel was not able to think beyond that. Intel socha utna hi tha that they can make a chips. They never thought that they will be able to be one of the wonderful in the businesses collaboration or for stakeholders. Now slowly the Intel's chips are becoming outdated. Many people are coming up with the M1, M2, and there's also one more. I forgot the name. There is another 2, 3 companies who are in the market recently, the last 5, 6 years, who are overtaking the Intel corporation. So, what is the fundamentally important is you have to collaborate with other team members. So, in some of the talks given by Gaikwad sir and other uh, people, also with Kale sir, they laid the foundation. They were asking, keep on something on. Uh, why all these people came from outside year to year? They are trying to give guidance and facilitate for a research for the students and the teachers. They have seen the outside world. Have you seen everyone that Google Scholar website? Everyone have used the Google Scholar website. Am I right? So there is one line written at the start of the Google Scholar. Can anyone tell me what is that line? Whenever you open that Google Scholar, if you're not opening with your own profile, if you open as a third party without no any cookies or saved data, so when the Google Scholar page opens, what it is written? Can anyone tell me what is that line phrase? Anyone? Yes, standing upon the shoulders of giants. So there is a line. What the Google Scholar says is, I met few people from Google some 4 years, 5 years back, who were closely working with Sundar Pichai. That he was my student and friend. He was working closely with this WhatsApp founder, Google, Sundar Pichai, all these people. So what is that line is? It is about standing upon the shoulders of the giants. So do you know who said this actual line? Can anyone tell who actually made this statement? No, I think it was made by maybe Newton or Einstein. So when someone asked him, "How do you feel to be a great scientist and other things? How are you feeling in the world?" When he got Nobel Prize, he became a very much a limelight fellow. So everyone started asking him, how do you feel when you are being so much popular in this world? Everyone is in 1950s or something. He was referred man of the years, man of the century, like all this. So what that was the statement made by Einstein. I don't feel something great because all the foundation was laid by earlier people. I'm just standing on them and seeing the world in the another angle. That is the only thing. So, what is the foundation? How you can see with this thing, the co-creation is your way to collaborate and take up a societal problems. This is the message which I want to keep on reiterating it. So all these people they were keep on collaborating with other. So these are some of the problems we have taken it up. These are the students projects who took up. Many of the students took projects on the. Someone was speaking about hybrid. One student have asked question on hybrid. Sir said about the nuclear, other things. So what is the important about this hybrid? And easiest example is you go to this Atlantic Ocean, this country, Nordic countries. Nordic country means something like Finland, Norway, Sweden. So go there. There, the people are using there is a huge amount of waves. So people are capturing the wave energy, and also they are putting the windmill. So this is the one of the easiest way where you can see, and they are also capturing the geothermal energy. So three energies are collected parallelly, and also they kept solar panels on the seabed. Anyway, solar panels can make it float on the sea waves. Am I right? So they're capturing all the solar energy. At the same time, they're also with the waves, they are able to generate the energy from the waves. So these are some of the parallel connectivity of the energy harvesting. This is one. And sir, sometime someone was asking about the nuclear energy, and sir said something about glass. I visited Bath 2-3 times. Uh, do you know, if you want to buy a glass this much size, this much size glass, like what you are seeing in the screen, okay, what will be the cost of the glass? If plain glass which is around 3 mm, what will be the cost of the glass? 3,000. Man says 3,000. Anything? ग्लास का कितना दाम पड़ेगा इतना बड़ा स्क्रीन का साइज में लेने का? No, इतना बड़ा ना, इससे double the size. Take it. So this 3,000 will become the 6,000. Can anyone come with some numbers? Anyone? 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Okay. Huh? Depends on the purpose of the class. You are going to use. Hero Honda is not making whether the person is going to use for selling the vegetables, or you want to carry the oil in the back, or you are going to carry your wife or kids or something. They don't see all this. Although the advertisement shows the family is going on the bike. Am I right? So anything made with a lot of robustness. So I visited the. What I want to say you this the message. Okay, what is the cost of the glass? This much big. Let us take 3 mm thickness. 8 to 9,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20, 30, 40. Okay, Baba Atomic Research Center is buying double the size of this glass. The area is this double the size, and the thickness might be around 3 feet, not 3 mm. Instead of 3 feet, so 1 feet is 30 centimeter. That is 300 mm. 300 into 3, 900 mm. Let it be 1,000 mm. They are buying at a cost of 100 crore. They are buying the glass. They are buying it from Russia. I got to know. They are buying. So see, this glass materials, we are taking it everything so much light. You have to carry the glass from Moscow to Mumbai. On the way, do you know, if you are carrying the glass from here to the ground floor, there is a chance of getting broken. If it is a glass you are buying here, it is 25 rupees glass cup. You can replace 25 rupees glass cup with another 25 rupees. So carrying from Moscow to Mumbai, and that glass which is of double the size with around 3 feet thickness, how much care has to be taken with? You see all the glass materials whenever it is being transported, they write it over there, handle with care, glass inside. Okay, so and he also said about how to capture this radioactive material and put it in the glass. Glass is a very good arrestor. It can capture all this. I don't know exactly that lanthanide series, and I'm right, sir. It's a lanthanide series of elements. These radioactive elements, when it decays, it creates a lot of other particles. Creates a lot of other low order atomic numbers. So those things can be captured. This glass can absorb it. Why we are buying glass from Russia for 100 crore? The answer is what he said is glass is a good thing which can absorb or take control of this radioactive rays, waves, everything. It can absorb, it can keep it under it. It will not emit on its own way. Okay. And so this all concept you are taking, first thing is you should study the societal problem. BARC is having some problem. BARC is having that internship program and all. You can go visit over there. You can take some problems. They have, what is that beauty about that thing? They mention a lot of research problem statement. They have some problem. We have some problem. First, they put it on their website. These are the problems. If a common man want to solve some of the problem, that is a societal problem. BARC is making electricity and giving back to the whole country. Am I right? not only the whole country, we are giving electricity to Bangladesh. We are giving electricity, although we might fight with Pakistan, we are also having the treaty. We have to share water, and our personal problems should not be taken to the national level for affecting millions of people. So Bark is producing electricity not for the only the countrymen. We are giving it to the neighboring countries. Nepal is enjoying the electricity from India. So there are many other things where this co-creation is putting a foundation for all these things. Okay. So you take about the energy problem which you want to solve it. You can take it up and you can collaborate with other people. The MIT is having a very good, recently came up with some research facilities. You can come, you can explore it. All the students who are interested for some 2 months, 3 months program, or any faculty is interested, you can discuss with Kale sir. Sir knows very well. So you can come up with those things, ideas. If you don't have an idea, don't worry. There might be someone who is an expert over there. You can take up their requirement of an idea. You can work on those problems. So these are the societal problems which we kept it as a reference, not take it up. So why? What is the problem with the societal problem is the complexity of the nature. Complexity. What do you mean by complexity? Can anyone tell me how you define complexity? Complexity का मतलब क्या है? There are many aspects. Students from there. Anyone? Interdependency. इधर भी पढ़ा है, लिखा है. Very good. All the answers are correct. So, what is they shooted it up at exactly the bullseye. I mean, so there are different aspects to the problem. You take a problem, for example, someone is obesity. If you consult a physician, doctor will give something because unka knowledge related with obesity is different. If you consult some dietitian, nutrition and dietitian, they will give some other thing. Oh, बोलेगा आपको ये खाना खाना है, ये change करना है. You go and consult with the yoga master or some physical fitness trainer. They will give some other suggestions. So one problem, three different experts are giving three different opinions. You even if any of your any problem with blood pressure, you consult three doctors. There will be three different. We generally take 3-4 opinions. Am I right? We don't take a risk of one doctor and implementing it on body. So this is the problem with the complexity of the problem. Any social problem, it has a difficulty by itself. For example, you people might be knowing there is a place called Chandni Chowk in Pune. Okay, so that Kothurud area starting. So there was some road. It was collapsed and the new bridge came. So is it so easy to construct the new bridge collapsing? They use some bombs to break all these things. So this is a societal problem. There is a traffic jam. So what they did, you have to get a clearance from the highway department. You have to get the clearance from the electricity department. You have to consult the ministries. You have to take the permission from the police department. So if anything happens as a chaos, you have to consult and you have to with the home department. So this is for any social problems, the complexity drives to have many experts to work on that. That is what it means. So these are some of the things like obesity, child, even the energy requirement and energy plan. You suddenly want to come up with a new power station at that place. So you need to have all the opinions from the experts. So to conclude, finally, I want to say what is this co-creation is all about. This co-creation is trying to say that this is the concept of transdisciplinary research. If you go to Europe, some people call it as co-creation. Most of the people call it as a transdisciplinary. So what is that? So monodisciplinary means there will be only one discipline. The knowledge is of only one direction. So in multidisciplinary, it is a multi-directional approach. That is what multidisciplinary. You see, there is a hospital called Sahyadri Multi-Speciality Hospital. Why they are writing multi-speciality hospital? So if I have a problem in my teeth or tooth, I'll go and talk to some doctor over there inside that hospital premise. Suddenly, if I felt I have a problem on my eyes, so the doctor will tell, go to the third floor, there is a eye specialist. So my body, I can take care of some different ailments from the same building. So that is the specialty about multi-speciality. Okay. In multidisciplinary approach, all experts are available inside a single premise. But you see in case of interdisciplinary, in interdisciplinary, there is an interaction between the disciplines. You see Pune University, all the central universities, there is something called disciplinary research centers are available. What they are trying to say, they're collecting some professors from physics, some people from chemistry. They're working in this department where they can interact. This is, I mean, a bit of transparency place at the interface. So this two discipline interacts. But in case of multidiscipline, these two departments won't interact. You will tell, go and talk to them, but these two doctors will not collaborate. For a diabetes is linked with the heart attack. Okay, so the diabetes doctor will not discuss with the art specialist, but he will tell, go and talk to them, you will solve your problem. But in case of interdisciplinary, both the diabetes specialty and the art specialist will discuss how to solve the problem of the patient. And when it comes to transdisciplinary, these two departments interact. They also interact with the society. So this is what non-academic, and all our social problems are involved with non-academic environment. So this is how transdisciplinary research is trying to say how we can take all the societal problems to solve it by collaboration, respect, and a lot of fun. That is what. So with this, I can conclude. Thanks for this. I should say thanks to all the organizers, because I have organized this type of conferences. So last 2 days, many people might not have slept properly. I believe. Even yesterday night, they were planning what to do. What is the next? We have to make a xerox. We have to buy the garland. We have to buy this bouquets. So all this, there are a lot of difficulties. I should thank Dange Madam, Gaikwad sir, and Madam for all these wonderful arrangements. And also, I thank Dr. Kale sir to introducing me to Gaikwad sir for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
The forum is open for question and answer session. Sorry, कोणालाही प्रश्न असतील तर त्यांनी विचारायचे आहे.
मराठीत विचारलं तर
Yes.
मराठीत विचारलं तरी चालेल.
Actually, I don't remember. The word there is nothing called as a wrong question. But I don't remember. I'm able to read it that the respectful statement like that. But I think Feynman. So Feynman said that there is nothing in the world as a wrong question. But suppose that whether this is a moon, this light looks like a moon. So that there is nothing wrong in any type of question. The wrong thing can happen only in the wrong answer. So your questions are always right. Only we should give a right answer. Please, if you have any questions. Okay. Thank you.
Co-creation activity. We will have next month. Co-creation activity. Just think about that. आपल्या ग्रामीण भागात खूप छोटे छोटे प्रॉब्लेम आता मी मुलींचा एक ग्रुप केला त्या मुलींच्या ग्रुपमध्ये व्हॉट इज युअर प्रॉब्लेम एक प्रॉब्लेम असा होता की ते आमचे पॅरेंट्स आम्हाला बाहेर शिकायला जाऊन देतात दॅट इज वन प्रॉब्लेम असे छोटे छोटे जे प्रॉब्लेम्स आहेत and what is the problem? They don't really want. The technology has been conserved. will solve question. So this is the co-creation activity. छोटे-छोटे problem घ्यायचे within plus एरियामध्ये कसे सॉल्व मुलांमध्ये जागृती निर्माण केली हा प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व करण्यासाठी थिंकिंग जे चालू आहे तर ते थोडंफार आपण ते कोऑपरेशन ऍक्टिव्हिटी मध्ये एज अ सोशल पॉइंट ऑफ व्ह्यू थँक्यू might be complicated at this moment. Okay, but next time we'll get very clear understand.
Good afternoon, all. I am here to deliver formal note of thanks for this first session. First of all, I would like to thank speaker of the session, Dr. Gopinath T. Sir, for his insightful lecture on the topic of co-creation and need of collaborations. Then I would also like to thank Dr. B.B. Kale Sir, who is chairing this session. Also, I would like to thank all the delegates and participants present for this session. Thank you all. With the permission of chairman, the session is over. Thank you.
Thank you. For the next session, I request Dr. S.P. Misra sir to chair this session. And the speaker for this session 2 is Professor Dr. Sarkari sir. I request to all the participants to please maintain silence.
Myself, Dr. S.P. Misra from the chemistry department. Chemistry मध्ये आम्ही प्रॅक्टिकल्स करत असताना रिॲक्शन्स करत असतो आणि ते रिॲक्शन्स करत असताना आधी आम्हाला स्टार्टिंग मटेरियल घ्यावं लागतं त्याला आपण रिॲक्टंट म्हणतो. ते रिॲक्टंट्स एकमेकांबरोबर रिॲक्ट होतात त्याला काहीतरी एनर्जी सप्लाय करावी लागते आणि मग ते रिॲक्टंट एका इंटरमिजिएट स्टेट म्हणजे ऍक्टिव्हेटेड स्टेट मध्ये पोहोचतात आणि मग ती ऍक्टिव्हेटेड स्टेट जी अनस्टेबल असते ती स्टेबल प्रॉडक्ट मध्ये जाते. आय होप तुम्ही अजूनही ऍक्टिव्हेटेड स्टेट मध्ये गेलेले नसाल कारण तुम्ही अजूनही रिॲक्टेड स्टेट मध्येच राहा आणि तुम्हाला अजून भरपूर ऍक्टिव्हेशन एनर्जी आम्हाला तुम्हाला द्यायची आहे असो. So for this session we have the speaker with us, Dr. Shri Krishna D. Sartale sir. He is reader from the Physics Department, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. He completed his MSc in 1998 with first class and completed PhD in the Shivaji University in 2002. He also got the NIMS fellowship in National Institute for Materials and postdoc fellowship from the University of Berlin. He also the recipient of Alexander von Humboldt Fellow, and his research area are nanoscale science, thin film physics, surface science, solar cells, fuel cells, catalysis, tribology. He has published lots of papers. It is not time to read all these things, but I will say large number of publication is there. Around I think 40 papers are published, papers and articles and book chapters. They are published in international journals, and an electrochemical process for deposition of copper ferrite, nickel ferrite, cobalt ferrite thin film at room temperature. That was the patent on his name. He is also referee for the many international journals. And with this short introduction, I would like to request Sartale sir to deliver his lecture. Thank you.
All right. So, good afternoon. And it's a very difficult task for me because I'm in between you and your lunch. And this is very, I know that you are already tired. And so, what I will do, uh, first, I will thank the organizers, our best friend, Principal N.S. Gaikwad, sir, Mahakal madam, and all the organizing committee members for inviting me and to say something about our research. But then what I thought, there are already many researchers which are going to talk about research. The title of this conference is what we say, that this recent advances in energy harvesting and applications. And already Dr. Kale, Kale sir already told you that the technology is already advanced, right? All the energy technologies like harvesting, for example, you are having catalysis where you are converting water into hydrogen and so on and so forth, right? One minute, just give me 1 minute. Can I just get the, this is in what, both the screens are connected, right? What? Where is the keyboard? Just give me 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't work. All right. So my point is that he already told you that for all these energy harvesting and energy conversions, there are already technologies are available. For example, we know photocatalysis. Photocatalysis is there is you require a semiconductor which should have a band gap, which will allow me absorption of light, and that light will absorb, and then the electron will be excited from valence band to conduction band, and it will be utilized for water splitting. For example, you are having another technology, what we are having this solar cells. In solar cells also we are having PN junctions, you are having a semiconductor, another semiconductor which will absorb the interface, will absorb the energy of the photon. The electrons, whatever the potential barrier you are having. I know that I came to know there are physics students, chemistry students, and electronic students, right? So you know that whenever you are having PN junction, there is an interface, and that there are having potential barrier. You can provide some energy to cross that potential barrier. The electrons will be like you will available for the conduction, and you will get the energy in terms of this electrical energy. That means you will get the current. Another way is like what already there was mention about the batteries and supercapacitors, where you will be having like you will electrochemically force the ions to go into the lattice, and then you will slowly get them out. If you are getting it slowly, you will call it a battery. If you are getting faster, you will call it a supercapacitor. That way you will call it they are having higher energy or higher power. So power means something how fast you are delivering the energy, and therefore the power density is one concept, then energy density is concept. In solar cell, you are having efficiency. And for example, in photocatalysis also, how fast your chemical reactions, this water splitting or any environmental cleaning applications are happening. You require that, the rate constants, and there are so many things. So all those fundamental understanding of these techniques, I mean, the processes are known to us. That you require, for example, if I want to use a material for any photovoltaic applications where I'm dealing with the solar energy, I need to have the material which will absorb the visible light. For example, the glass will not be useful for that because glass is transmitting the light. Another way is that can I use the black color? For example, I mean, today I wear the black color shirt. It is a black body. So black body will absorb everything. But then the point is that can I use any black material, for example, carbon, which is, abundantly available, any carbon, graphite and all, they are abundantly available. Can I use graphite as my solar absorbing material. But no, because we require a semiconductor which should have this, like electron hole pair production. So we know all. So what are our target is that depending upon the energy harvesting, energy storage, any application, what we do, we develop materials which will satisfy certain properties which are in our mind for certain applications. So these applications I have, that for that application I require certain properties. So these properties depends upon structure of the material. So my today's discussion would be like, we are going to discuss how the structures are related to the property. So this is already known to us. For example, you are having TiO2. TiO2 is one of the well-known material for this photocatalysis, or for like even for many varieties of energy application. If it is in Anatase phase or rutile phase, you are having very different properties. Their performances are very different. For example, all of you know that iron, Fe, can be ferromagnetic or paramagnetic. What is the difference between ferromagnetic and paramagnetic? When you heat it, it goes to certain phase. Basically, what is happening? Anybody can tell me that when you heat the iron, it goes from ferromagnetic to paramagnetic. All of you know that Curie temperature. माहिती आहे सगळ्यांना? काय होतं म्हणजे त्याच्यामध्ये फेरो टू पॅरा होतं म्हणजे बेसिकली काय होत असेल? Basically, there is a right. What is happening? The crystal structure is changing. बरोबर? त्याचं structure change होतं. So this is one very simple example. You know this from very long age, I mean, your study career from your high school, that whenever there is a structure is changing, the properties are changing. This is one of the examples that the iron can go from ferromagnetic to paramagnetic. So what do you mean by structure? The structure means it is something how the atoms and molecules are arranged in that material. The structure, basically the arrangement of atoms, when it is in a specific form, the iron is ferromagnetic. When it is in another form, it is paramagnetic. Similarly, you are having very different complex materials where you are having atoms and molecules. If they are arranged in a very different fashion, they will be having different properties. Are you convinced with this? So we have to understand how these atoms and molecules are arranged in the material. This kind of arrangements is what we call the crystal structure. So the structure is something where the atoms are arranged in certain manner. And therefore, what we know from all of you know from your, I think all of you have studied 11th and 12th, you know that there are 7 crystal structure, right? माहिती आहे सगळ्यांना 7 crystal structure? But आणि त्याच्या पुढे आपल्याला माहिती की 14 Bravais lattices आहे. Is it clear? Everybody knows this. 14 Bravais lattices असतात, primitive, non-primitive. Yes or no? I know you are hungry, but at least you can say yes. Huh? I will not talk about more up to 2. I will be finishing because I know that this will be definitely by what time you want me to stop. You tell me. What is your lunch time usual? 2, na? Barabar na? So okay, by 2 I will. By 2 I will definitely. So I will give some food for thoughts before actually some food for your lunch. Okay. All right. So X-ray diffraction is something technique which is used for understanding how these atoms and molecules are arranged. So you know what are the 7 crystal structures and you know what are the 14 Bravais lattices. If I ask you this question, why do you think that any material in the world or in the universe, I would say, not only on Earth, maybe suppose I bring some material from another planet, let's say on Moon, you have the rock from Moon, for example, or if sometimes we bring something from the Mars or anything from the universe, if you bring, you can, confidently say that arrangement of these atoms and molecules can be only of one of these 7 types, right? It cannot be anything other than 8 types, right? Or it can be only this 14 Bravais lattices. A simple cubic, for example, in case of cubic, it can be simple cubic, body-centered cubic, and face-centered cubic. Do you agree with me this? Yes or no first? That? But then why this 7 number is coming? Why not 8? Why not 6? Why not 10? Do you have any answer to this question? If I ask you this question, why come this 7 number is coming? Is it like Shubha number, Ashubh number, whatever, something like that? Or is there something, must be something, right? Anybody has any idea about this? Are you getting my question? जर तुम्ही इनव्हर्स मधला कुठल्याही मटेरियलला जर क्रिस्टल स्ट्रक्चर मध्ये म्हणायचं तर मला 7 क्रिस्टल स्ट्रक्चर्स मध्येच आपण बोलतो. We never talked about that anything other than that. There must be something which is restricting this number. For example, in your class, you are having some restrictions because the government said that a class should have suppose 100 students, 50 students, 10 students, whatever. Your bus has capacity of 50 passengers. No, we are not allowing anyone standing. So there will be only 30, right? So probably some are coming by the bus from their home, from villages. Then this is the problem. The conductor says, no standing. So then you also start abusing that. I'm losing my college and they're not allowing me to enter and so on and so forth. So always there is some restrictions. These restrictions will decide the number, right? This is a restriction. This restriction is for the bus capacity is 50. Therefore, 50 passengers can be there. The class has 100 capacity. So what are those restrictions which are restricting the crystal structures of any materials into 7 crystal systems? That's something we are going to address in the beginning. And to understand the arrangement of these atoms, there is the only one tool we are having, which you require, whether you are having energy harvesting, energy storage, or any other application. That is what we are having, this X-ray diffraction. So the first and most important thing what I asked you that, all of you know the diffraction, right? सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे diffraction. Electronics असला तरी त्याला diffraction माहिती असतं. Physics असेल, chemistry असेल. What do you mean by diffraction? Can anyone tell? Yes. If you कुठली विद्यार्थी सांगा diffraction. What do you mean by diffraction? Yes. काय तुम्हाला वाटतंय ते? But what do you see? Diffraction is something. Yes. It's not like that you should only ask questions. I mean, if I ask questions, you should also answer. It's not only I have to answer your questions, right? It's something, like where you are having the lights are getting scattered and then there is the interference, right? You are having this maxima and minima and all those things. So probably you must have done some experiment with the diffraction that you get the spectrum, right? When you pass the white light, then you get all the color. This is what exactly diffractions, you have seen that, right? Some of them, you are in MSc and you are in BSc, I think first year, second year, you are having that experiment where you get all the colors. This is what we call the monochromatic. Is it clear? But then the grating, what you use the diffraction grating, is the difference between these two, like lines is of equivalent to the wavelength of the light, which is above few micron. However, in crystals, in materials, the atoms are arranged and the distance between atoms are of few angstrom. And that's the reason we are using X-ray. So X-ray diffraction is something, a technique which we'll be using for understanding the arrangement of this atom. Because I have less time, so probably I will be, like skipping some slides and all those things. Let me see. All right. So when you look at the X-ray diffraction pattern, have you seen something like this X-ray diffraction pattern? Anyway, whenever you look at any pattern, a spectrum, I will always look at for 3 things. One is what you are having. I mean, you can see that there is a background. What is this background tells me. I will not go into the details. Then I will see the whatever the like X-ray diffraction peak I am having. What is the position of that peak? What is the intensity of that peak? And how broad that peak is. So all those information is required for me to understand the material, right? So the background comes from there. For example, you are having Compton scattering, diffuse scattering, and there are so many things. The position will be decided by the lattice parameter. I will come to that point. You are having intensity, which will be decided by the, like atomic position, temperature factor, occupancy, texture, basically the structure factor, which will give me the quantitative phase analysis. I can tell what is the phase of that. For example, you are having FCC and BCC. And there is, like the broadening, what I say that there's an instrumentation broadening and there is a sample broadening, which gives me whether my materials are nanomaterials or the bigger grains or micro grains or something. Okay, so all of you know that X-rays are electromagnetic field, right? So there is the electric field, there is a magnetic field which is perpendicular to each other, and therefore, the X-rays are having the wavelength in the range of few angstrom. Okay, so I will skip this one. All right. So anybody can tell me that how X-rays are produced? The X-ray tube, because X-ray tubes are required everywhere. You know, like for example, whenever you are having any fracture, you have X-ray. So these X-rays are basically you have this, these electrons are strike on the anode, and then these electrons produce the X-rays. There are two types of X-rays: continuous X-ray and characteristic X-rays, and then there are like all those things. I think you want me to discuss this, but I will mainly focus on, because I do not have much time, I will focus on this 7 crystal structure. So this is something all you are known about this. X-rays are absorbing by that. I think I will also skip that. This is I will skip. I will come to this point. All right. Okay. This is something, this diagram, you all are aware of that, right? What are you are aware of that? You are having this, any crystal is decided by 6 lattice parameters, right? A, B, C, and their angles alpha, beta, gamma, right? It means that in principle, I can have any value of alpha, beta, gamma and any value of A, B, C, right? Barabar. I can draw, because this is the unit cell, what you are having on this left hand side, you can see this unit cell. These unit cells are basically stacked in a periodic manner. That's how the crystal is grown. Barabar. So my question is that, can I get any value of alpha, beta, gamma and any value of A, B, C? If I can have, I want to have, just it is like, for example, you are having a cake. You are slicing that cake into, for example, 2 pieces or 4 pieces. So only condition is what? You have to cut in such a way that every piece should be identical with the other piece. Now, किंवा आपली एक भाकरी घ्या समजा, त्याचे 4 भाग अगदी असेच करायला पाहिजेत असं नाही. You can have some different shape. There are many different ways you can cut that. But then the question is that whether it will be satisfy the condition of unit cell or not. That is what something we have to see. I will see, this is the one thing. For example, if I want to, because I am coming to this question, why we are having only 7 crystal structures. Let's say I have, for example, I have the pieces, like the pieces which I can have, for example, this is the piece where you do not have any symmetry. Okay, just this A and B and these angles are whatever, like this is something, because you can see that these angles are not. If I start to make this, I can create a pattern. Means what I have to do, I will just, if I give you the pieces and I'll ask you to do this, that, okay, you connect with these pieces and you make a pattern, which should be compact. Why compact? Because our materials are solid material. They do not have, when you are having a crystal, it means that all these patterns are just what is this? They are compact. They are connected with each other. It's not like that. एकच मध्येच कुठला तरी बॉन्ड तुमचा ब्रेक झाला असेल, असं असेल तर काय होईल? विल दॅट मटेरियल विल बी स्टेबल. तुमचं समजा बांधकाम आहे, त्या बांधकामामध्ये सगळ्या विटा तुम्ही एकमेकाला एक पॅटर्न तुम्ही केलेला. Can you just keep that? Okay, there will be some gap, and then you are still thinking that this wall is very pretty stable. For some designing purpose, you may have some that pattern, but otherwise that pattern should be compact. This materials, because they are bonded with each other, there should be a bond, right? So with no symmetry, what is that we call? There's a word what we call the rotational symmetry. So rotational symmetry means what? This I have to rotate by 360 degrees. So 360 divided by certain number n, that will call the rotational symmetry. Okay. So when I call this number is 1, what does this mean? It means that I have to rotate it by 360. Then I will get the same. Right. Similarly, these 2-fold rotational symmetry is what I have to rotate by 180. So we 180 rotate kela, you will get the same shape. Right. This is what 3-fold means. We are having, this is the equilateral thing. We are having 120 degree. If I rotate by 120 degree, same distance. Square, it is what? 4-fold, 90 degree. This is 5-fold rotational symmetry. Means what? 360 divided by 5. No kind number. It is something fraction. 6-fold rotational symmetry means 60 degree I have to rotate. So you can just rotate it by. Similarly, 7-fold and 8-fold and 9. What you can see here is that if I try to connect these pieces and I want to generate a pattern without any gap, what you can see that I can make a pattern with 1-fold rotational symmetry. Yes, you can get it. कुठलाही तुम्ही shape घ्या, कुठलाही shape घ्या, you can connect them. You will able to. It should not have any symmetry. Remember, if you cut like this, we will come to that point. What I'm saying that any arbitrary shape you are having, that arbitrary shape which has no symmetry, that I can get a pattern. With 2-fold rotational symmetry, also I can get a pattern. With 3-fold rotational symmetry, I can get a pattern. With 4-fold, I can get. But when I come to the 5-fold rotational symmetry, which is here, I will not able to generate a pattern. There will be always certain gap. I cannot make it. With 6-fold rotation symmetry, I can make the 6-fold, for example, here. This is the 6-fold. If I make the 5-fold, you can see there are certain gaps. I will not allow, I will have some gap here. With 6-fold, you can see very compact structure. Again, if I go to 7-fold, I will have some gap. I cannot make the pattern. It means that there will be certain restriction on my shape of the object which can generate the pattern. This is what exactly the crystal is. Crystal मध्ये आपण काय म्हणतो? Crystal is what? Certain is arranged in a periodic manner, which is connected with each other. It means that I cannot have a pattern which has 5-fold rotational symmetry, 7-fold rotational symmetry, 8-fold, 10-fold. I can have only 1-fold, 2-fold, 3-fold, 4-fold, and 6-fold. These are the only 5 rotational symmetries I can have, which can generate a pattern, which can generate a periodic pattern. Because this is what exactly I have to just rotate it. This is something we are having. This is the first restriction on my thing. Because ultimately, your atoms and molecules are arranged in such a way, this arrangement is going to repeat. For example, I was just, when I was sitting here, I could see that there is a pattern. You can see that this design. There is certain pattern which is getting repeated. So everything in crystal, for example, some atoms and molecules, it can go up to millions of atoms. For example, there are DNA, RNA. You know that there was a Nobel Prize which was given to the biological life sciences, but actually what they did, for example, we are having Venki, Venkatesh, who got the Nobel Prize, I think 2-3 years back. He actually found out the crystal structure of some, like RNA, DNA, some life science, some object which are, related to the something, like maybe DNA, RNA, some chemicals which are biological. You know that how many atoms and molecules are there? Millions of atoms and molecules. This is so complex structure. Such complex structure also means whatever that group of atoms and molecules you are having, these groups of atoms and molecules, they must be having in one of these symmetry. This is one of the restrictions. That's what I was talking about. That why you are having 7 crystals. So these are the restrictions you are having, which will decide whether I can get the. This means what now? This means the arrangement of atoms and molecules, which you will see in the crystal. This arrangement must be having either 1-fold or 2-fold or 3-fold or 4-fold or 6-fold. This is the first restrictions we got. Now, what are we going to do? We have to attach to the lattice point, because how do you define crystal? Crystal is what we call the lattice plus basis. So basis is what? This. Basis is something, or in crystallographic term we call it is motif. It is something which has certain symmetry, something which is getting repeated. That is what we have to see. Okay. So this is what in any crystal, because there are 2 kinds of symmetry you should have. There is a translational symmetry as well as you can have some rotational symmetry. So this is what we call the 2-fold rotation axis in the crystal. If I look at in the crystal, for example, if this is a crystal, you can see some pattern. You can see there is a mirror line. This is the mirror line. You can see this is also a mirror line, because everything you can see there. This is the mirror image of that. Or for example, all you are sitting like this, if in a very line, आपण ग्राउंडवर आहोत. What I can see that if I can just see at the center of every person, you will see the mirror line. So this is a mirror of, because when I can see there is another person. तुम्हाला माहिती आहे आपल्या आपला mirror images तयार होणार. So there is a mirror image, and every person has 1/4 rotation because I have to rotate by 360. Then I only will be able to see the same. So all those are symmetry axes. You will find out in the crystal. All right. So apart from that, because this is one example I have given, because it's not in 1 hour I cannot understand, or you cannot understand, or I cannot teach everything. But my limited point is that you are having some other symmetries in the crystal. So what I talked about, this 1/4 rotation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. These are the only axes, symmetry axes you can have. Apart from that, you are having inversion. Now inversion is what? Something, if you are having an object which is at x, y, z, what will happen? You will able to see the same whatever that pattern or object or group of atoms, molecules, whatever. That arrangement I will able to see at x bar, y bar, z bar with their mirror image. Means what is not? It's not just it is repeating here. It will have its mirror image at x bar, y bar, z bar, and those are what we call the inversion symmetry. This is very, very important inversion symmetry most of the times for your ferroelectric, pyroelectric, magnetic material, where you are having this inversion symmetry. This inversion symmetry, if it is broken, and if it is, so this is what we call the centrosymmetric. So you are having BaTiO3, for example, ferroelectric. Have you seen the perovskite structure? There was, a lot of discussion was happening about perovskite solar cell, perovskite structure. So this perovskite structure has centrosymmetry. Centrosymmetry means what? It has inversion symmetry. Whatever you see at x, y, z, it will be, its mirror image will be at x bar, y bar, z bar. Now what is the so big deal about that? Because whatever the electron density you are having at x, y, z, you are having same electron density at x bar, y bar, z bar. What will be the polarization in that case then? Because your electron density is balanced, the net polarization will be 0. So any material which is centrosymmetric in nature, you will have the polarization will be 0. Now what is the trick? You have to break that centrosymmetry. Means you should have the atoms, whatever that symmetry you are having, that symmetry should be broken. So all your perovskite structure are having this centrosymmetry. Okay. So but I have to understand that. All right. So these are the only symmetries you can have in the crystal. Is it clear? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And along with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, you can have this inversion. So 1 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, 6 bar. And this 2 bar, this inversion of 2 is nothing but the mirror symmetry. Again, you will see that. So these symmetry requirements, I will just see what I have to do now. Because these are the symmetries I can have. You can have only in 2-dimensional, for example, pattern which has 1-fold or 2-fold or 3-fold or 4-fold or 6-fold to certain lattice point. Those lattice points, if I can see that, I can get only these 5 types of crystal system in case of 2D lattice, 2-dimensional lattice. What are those we call? Oblique lattice, rectangular lattice, hexagonal lattice, and this is what I'm going to say that this is center rectangular, or we can have which we call, I will come to that. Okay. So when you have to decide the unit cell, I think most of you know that I can go from one lattice point to another lattice point. Any unit cell I can draw, right? This is, you are aware of this. जर तुझ्याकडे असे रांगोळी दिली कुठल्याही 2 पॉइंटला तुम्ही एकत्र 4 पॉइंटला एकत्र करून, you will have this, you will say that okay, this is getting repeated, no problem. But there is a rule to decide the unit cell. It should be, first thing that it should be small. आपण पहिला rule काय म्हणतो आपण? It should be small. So small means what? It should be primitive and non-primitive. Then it should be small. And the third and most important thing is that it should show the symmetry of the lattice. Now, when you are having this oblique lattice म्हणजे काय? असे कुठेही ठिपके देणार lattice. Lattice म्हणजे काय? It is in infinite space, right? These all those lattice points are going in infinite. What is the condition we have imposed here? Which has 1/4 rotational symmetry. So the A and B kahi gaya, gamma kahi gaya. The angle between these two lattice parameters A and B, with the answer A is not equal to B, and gamma can be anything. But anything means what? It should not be 90. If it is equal to 90, here what is happening? A is not equal to B and gamma is not equal to 90. But if your gamma is equal to 90, what you can see that there is a mirror symmetry. Immediately you can see that when you are having rectangular, the same pattern what you can see that there are mirror lines. For example, here. These are the mirror lines automatically coming because of this arrangement of this lattice. And that is the symmetry we are required. So you will have mirror lines like this. You will have mirror lines like this. And also there will be mirror line center like this, horizontal. And also there will be mirror line vertical. So these mirrors automatically comes because of this gamma is equal to 9. Can you see this mirror? Because you can see the mirror image of that. These are the rectangles. Now, if you impose the restriction that A is not equal to B, instead of that I can call A is equal to B and gamma is equal to 90. What you can see that you do see mirrors, of course, but what is most important that we get the 4/4 rotational symmetry. So this 4/4 rotational symmetry you are getting, that therefore what we call the square line. Now, when I will be having A is equal to B, but gamma is equal to 120, what you can see here? You can see the 6/4 rotational symmetry. Because this 120 angle gives me 3/4 as well as 6/4 rotational symmetry. This is coming, it is the restriction, because what are the restrictions we are having? 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 and 6/4. So 1/4 rotational symmetry is getting where I do not have any restrictions on A and B, and gamma is can be anything. But I have to put gamma is equal to 90, then I will be getting mirror symmetry. Because mirror is another symmetry which should have. And all those two dimensional lattices are giving me 2/4 rotational symmetry. Now to be परत हे 180 ला जर तुम्ही फिरवलं, all these lattices are giving me 2/4. But what is important is 1/4 is getting here, mirror I am getting here, 4/4 I am getting here, 6/4 I am getting. Now, because Bravais lattices, because you should know, the Bravais was a French scientist. He has सगळ्यांना माहिती का Bravais lattices 14? हो की नाही? 12वीलाच झालेलं मला माहिती केमिस्ट्री मध्ये. सगळ्यांचं केमी आणि कंपल्सरी केमिस्ट्री असते.
12वीला झाले
तेच म्हणते. नाही होते कारण नाही म्हणू शकत नाही म्हणून त्या नावाचं नाही म्हणला तरी पण तुम्हाला ते 14चा टेबल पाठ आहे तुम्हाला. दोज 14 Bravais lattices, unfortunately you know that Bravaiच्या अगोदर एक जर्मन सायंटिस्ट होता, even I forgot his name now. You see that this is a very important aspect. सगळेजण एक 2 मिनिटं लक्ष द्या, बाकीच्या वेळेस नाही तर चालेल. एखादी गोष्ट सायन्स मध्ये काय होऊ शकते. Bravaiच्या अगोदर एक होता, आता even I forgot it because people forget, you know, like what you do. He told that there are 15 arrangements. एक अरेंजमेंट त्याने जास्त सांगितली, Bravais म्हणला नाही 15 नाही फक्त 14 आहे. त्याला नावही कोणी लक्षात ठेवत नाही. But it was the foundation what he has created. He said that there are 15 ways you can arrange non-primitive lattices. Nobody bothered because he was wrong. So one mistake can cause that your name will be disappeared. And Bravais was an engineer actually, wasn't physicist actually. He was just what he said that okay, 15 nahi, 14 hai, because he counted extra, and therefore we call them as Bravais lattices. We don't bother about even that. I think even I don't remember now. Alright. So why Bravais said 14? This is the concept I want to say. If I am having rectangular, what I did now here, a rectangular माझ्याकडे आहे. A is not equal to B and gamma is equal to 90. But what I am doing now, I am going to put an extra point at the center. बरोबर? प्रत्येक ठिकाणी मी काय करणार? At the center मी इथं ठेवतो. Now there are, what is the rule? What I will say that it should be the unit shape should be small. जे काही मी A आणि B घेणार आहे, gamma घेणार आहे, should be small. So somebody can say that why don't we choose this? I can choose the smaller unit shape. But then you say that is it simple? Yes, it is simple. But then the last and most important point, what you say that it should show me the symmetry of the lattice. Now, what is the symmetry of the lattice? Is the mirror symmetry. Now, if I draw this primitive unit cell, I am losing the mirror symmetry. Because if I just see that, there this line will not give me the mirror symmetry or this line. Because the symmetry should be on your, this whatever this, the axis, what we call the primitive axis or axis of the lattice. That's the reason, instead of talking about rectangular, means some people call that whatever that name is. But I don't want to give you that name, but point it at diamond, something, whatever this they call it. It is not as per our requirement. It is not, it doesn't show me the symmetry of the lattice. Therefore, I have to go for, even though it is not small, even though it is not simple, but even though but it is not small, but it is showing me the symmetry, I will be, instead of going for this primitive lattice, I will be going for non-primitive lattice, where I am having extra lattice point. It is not the smallest unit. And this is the first lesson you can get, that in the two-dimensional lattice, you are having actually 4 crystal systems: oblique, rectangular, square, hexagonal. But there are 5 Bravais lattices. One is extra, that is what in the rectangular you can call, there is a rectangular center. This is a non-primitive. This is a Bravais lattice you can talk. And now once you understand this, is it clear to you? Once you understand this, the rest of the things will be clear. Because what you can see that here, this is what exactly, because you are, this will not give me the, because you are expecting that all those mirror symmetries you can get with this. For example, this is what exactly is more clear from that diagram. All right. So I will just keep it, because I just wanted to give you some exercise to identify what is that lattice is. This is one important thing, because this will give you the idea how this 7 crystal system, what that number is kept. What is the restriction? What we said that along with the translation, the lattice should have some symmetry, rotational symmetry. And what are those symmetries we are having? 1-fold, 2-fold, 3-fold, 4-fold, and 6-fold. That's it. And you can have mirror symmetry. These are the symmetries which restricts the two-dimensional lattice into 4 crystal system: oblique, rectangular, square, and hexagonal. And there is one extra Bravais lattice which comes with the rectangular center. Now, it's very easy to visualize, because this logic you can use for 3 dimensions. What I can do, for example, if I have this rectangular lattice, one rectangular, which I kept it at certain दोन तुमच्याकडे planes आहेत, but these planes are not exactly on top of that. थोडंसं मी असे tilt करून ठेवतो. What I will be getting, because you will get A is not equal to B, not equal to C. But what is the condition for monoclinic? Alpha, gamma not equal to 90. Condition alpha and gamma are 90, but beta is not equal to 90. तुम्हाला ती condition मिळून जाईल. Because your खालचा angle 90 आहे, वरचा angle 90 आहे. फक्त एक angle तुमचा मिळत नाही. You will get it. On the other hand, if I put this rectangular lattice exactly on top of each other, you will get orthorhombic, where your A is not equal to B, not equal to C, but your alpha, beta, gammas are 90. So these restrictions, because you are having, you can generate this 7 crystal system only by stacking these 2D lattices. Because once you understand 2D lattices, these lattices I can get the 3 lattices. For example, square. In case of square, I can do A is equal to B. Exactly, I stack this at the distance same at A, then I will get a cube. If I don't put it at exactly at a distance A, but at certain another distance, I will get the tetragonal. But your alpha, beta, gamma will be 90. So, the rotational symmetry requirement restricts the number of 2D lattice to 4, and therefore that restriction of the symmetry, whatever that requirement of the symmetry, basically restricts the 3-dimensional lattices into 7 crystal systems. And those are the 7 crystal systems, what we call this simple cubic or cubic, tetragonal, orthorhombic, rhombohedral, monoclinic, triclinic, and hexagonal. All right. This is basically what the rotational symmetry is. Basically, the lattice should satisfy. Because how do you define lattice, by the way? When I say that lattice, what do you mean by lattice? If I ask you this question, in the lattice, what will happen if I go from one lattice point to another lattice point? Yes. The environment or the surrounding, what we say. What does it mean? It means that if I go from this lattice